Good day to one and all. How art thou doing? Your boy here, Apollo from Down, Down, Up, Up. And I said this might be a little bit late. I knew deep in my heart how things were going to go, and I ended up being busy. However, more than I would have guessed. Shortly after recording my predictions video for the Royal Rumble, I had a bit of a tumble on the ice and completely wrecked my back. Did it ruin the weekend for me? No, thankfully not. But afterwards, with it being the Royal Rumble, my voice was almost non-existent after that show, mixed with the back pain. So took a little bit of time off YouTube to get the voice going, and I'd say it's 99% back if I'm being honest right now. Excuse the water breaks, but you guys are used to that anyway. Let's get into it. It's time to review this year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and really happy in the long run that I have given this a little bit more time to talk about. Not so much, and pardon me, the camera's just updating. Not so much for myself in terms of other opinions. I haven't actually watched any other reviews myself. I've only listened to just a few people comment online and getting the general consensus of the show. I haven't even seen Raw yet, so I'm not throwing any futuristic plans into my personal thoughts and review here. I like to just have these on the fly. I'm going to try to keep it like that, but this one needed a little bit more time anyway. What did I think of this show? I liked it. I did like it for some of it. Then it got underwhelming. We're going to get there. So I'm just trying to think of any quick points I really need to make about this show. The kickoff was a complete waste of time. No bonus matches added. And you did have options. The Usos and the Raiders were not booked in the Rumble. You could have had them for the Tag Team Championships on the kickoff. Finn Balor and Cesaro were not in the Royal Rumble. That is a crime on its own hand. However, I was prepared for that. I didn't see their names coming up, so I told myself, all right, they're probably not going to be in the Royal Rumble. But can you imagine if WWE on the fly had just had them have a little match in the kickoff? Finn Balor versus Cesaro? Yeah, I'd watch that. I'd definitely watch that. The kickoff doesn't just have to be low-key. Remember, it's for new viewers, too, who want a little taste of things and maybe will pay the monthly fee to get the show. Maybe. Now let's talk about the Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself. No bonus matches added. We've got 6 to go through. The order was questionable. Questionable. And I'll get through more of that, hopefully, when we get closer to the end of the video. We started with the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Roman came out first. This perplexed me on so many levels. We don't do that to Roman a lot. Why is Roman coming out first? And then Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Delta, Shield. Seth Rollins came out in the Shield gear, the Shield music, and down the crowd. It was crazy. I couldn't believe that. That was ballsy. It was all about the mind games. And it was also very fun to see Seth Rollins. He didn't really change his act. I got to see him with this, like, crap-eating grin in the Shield gear. And that just sort of did it for me. And now for the match itself, fantastic. It's Roman and Seth. They just leave you wanting more. That's really how it goes, and it completely applies to this one. They had a ton of fun, breaking tables on the outside. Curb Stomp really got close for me, thinking, oh my goodness, is Seth just going to take this? They did the spear into the pedigree spot, fantastic, but Seth couldn't put Roman away. Roman does come back with 2 spears, but he doesn't go for the pin, and you're like, okay, what's going on? Then Seth just starts laughing at him. Just laughing at him. Just the most annoying thing you could put up with. And Roman puts him in the guillotine. And then, this was questionable. Seth was out. He was definitely out. The referee's raising his hand, and once it falls back down, touch the canvas, it's over. He's ringing the bell. The referee moves Rollins' arm to the rope. I don't care what anyone else says. That is how I took it. And Roman refused to let go. So, our first match of the evening, a disqualification. Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns again, but did not take the championship. And honestly, the way these two were going about, I liked it. I liked it. I liked the aftermath too, because Roman Reigns took a steel chair and he went to town on that boy. And they even tried to imitate the spot where Seth hit Roman with the chair when the Shield broke up, where Seth had hit Roman. Roman had sort of went numb and fallen on the bottom rope facing the entranceway. They kind of did that with the roles reversed here. So Roman put in the work, left. Seth Rollins wasn't laughing anymore. I'm not sure if this is going to get a rematch. A lot of people are speculating that Seth Rollins might still be in this game, and somehow we do what we did in 2015 and add Seth Rollins to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar this year at WrestleMania. I'm not opposed to that if somehow we can do that, but I sure would be intrigued to see how. We'll see. We'll see. Water break. And then we actually got into a Royal Rumble. The Women's Royal Rumble, to be more specific. Wrong call, WWE. You had 3 other matches that you could have done. I would have preferred that the mixed tag go after this. Heck, I wouldn't have the Universal Championship match begin in the first place, even with the disqualification. The mixed tag would have been much better to get out of the way, because that is what slowed down the show, but we'll get there. Women's Royal Rumble, and there's no way I'm going off by heading this. I have my list of entrants right here. So kicking off the Royal Rumble, we had Sasha Banks. That was a choice. She came back all of a sudden on SmackDown, and that's sort of what made me second guess my pick. I was thinking, you got me, WWE, but we'll get there. And then number 2 comes out. It's Melina. I couldn't believe that. That popped me. That's someone I was not expecting to have ever a ring entrance or in a match ever in WWE again. So seeing Melina was great. She sort of has Sasha Banks' original vibes to her. But then she just gets chucked out quickly. I wasn't sure if that was a botch or if she really was just meant to get her entrance pop and then thrown out, make Sasha look good. Don't know. Don't care, moving on. Tamina then came out, Kelly, who looks extremely different now, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm going to call that out there because that's what I noticed. Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, Queen Zelina, Bianca Belair, who, considering how long she lasted, really didn't do a heck of a whole lot. My friend mentioned this quite a few times during the match, and he was right. Really didn't do a whole lot in there. That was a shame. Dana Brooke, Michelle McCool, Sonya Deville, Natalya, who I believe got a botch elimination. If you've seen Natalya in this match, you will know she got eliminated twice. Cameron of the Funkadactyls in the Brodus Clay days. She even had her own little singles time. Kind of cool to see her and hear the music again. But then chucked out in 2 seconds. Then Naomi comes out, takes care of Sonya Deville, and for like the small second, you're like, oh, thank God, please let that be it. But no, later in the match, Sonya just pulls Naomi out and eliminates her. The feud that I am honest to God sick and tired of. Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair at number 17, the number she won with in 2020. That got my attention. Number 18 was great. With the rights to censor music, it was Ivory. She came out with the microphone, ragging people down, and even when she was being picked up and thrown out, she was still talking on the microphone. Oh, Ivory, you are just a saint, one of a kind, and she just doesn't age. Brie Bella, Mickie James with Hardcore Country and the Knockouts title. I didn't think they'd give her that much, honestly. Is that still saying a whole lot about WWE and the Forbidden Door? Well, it's a small step, but not much else to report. Alicia Fox, they didn't have her do a Northern Light suplex, don't understand that. Nikki ASH, Summer Rae also didn't do a heck of a whole lot. Nikki Bella, Sarah Logan, it was nice to see her and Liv connect for 2 seconds before the Bellas had to ruin it. Lita, Mighty Molly Holly, who got attacked this time by Nikki ASH, and it did work. It did work. So I'm not going to complain too much. I love seeing Molly Holly sport the superhero gear. And okay, now to the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty here. 28. I don't know why 28. Maybe because they had plans for 30 later in the men's. But the more I think about it, the women's should have been last. Because when the women's was announced here, I had lost hope on my pick. But no, ye of little faith. At number 28, out came Ronda Rousey. I told you they were going to do it. The time was right. The wait was over. Ronda Rousey back in the WWE. And she went to town. And 29 and 30 were Shotzi and Shayna Baszler. That was a waste of N2 in my opinion. My God, I didn't understand that. But Ronda Rousey back. And I guess for the last few spots, it went very quickly from there, actually. Brie Bella eliminated Nikki Bella. That was amazing to me. I cannot stand Nikki Bella, and Brie has always been the one to look out for me at least, and she got some nice revenge off the first Women's Rumble when it was the roles reversed. So good stuff, Brie, but Ronda quickly took care of that business. Charlotte took care of Rhea and Bianca. Throwback to last year when they got her out of the Rumble before it came down to those two women. But then, very quickly, Ronda Rousey just dumped Charlotte Flair out of there. We didn't have to waste too much time on that. Yes, Ronda Rousey is back, won the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania. I assume they're finally going to do Ronda and Becky one-on-one. If not, we'll see what we get. Because you know WWE can't leave well enough alone. But I am hoping, because this was a mixed Royal Rumble, that means we get a great WrestleMania. I feel like that's always a good potential with things, because even with 2015, one of the wildly regarded... my God, my tongue doesn't work. One of the Rumbles that is regarded as worst of all time. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. To be fair, I had my predictions already set of what they were going to do at WrestleMania with Seth Rollins cashing in. Even though they didn't, I had a bit more faith in what needed to happen. I didn't get ruined by this show, but I wished the Women's Rumble main evented. It was good. It wasn't great, but compared to the men's, the Women's Rumble did a lot more for me. So, cheers, ladies, and Ronda, it's good to have you back. We're getting there. It's a longer one today, guys. You know the Rumble, how it works. Okay, I can put that down, though. Let's get through the rest of the matches quick before the men's. Ironically, after this, it was Becky Lynch and Doudrop for the Raw Women's title. It was okay. Went a little bit longer than I needed it to, but they did get the finish right. Manhandle slam off of the second or bottom rope, I think. I think it was the second rope. And Becky Lynch is still the Raw Women's champion. WWE Championship match after that. For the love of God, they really loved the mixed tag match. Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar. It was everything that I needed it to be. I'm not going to lie. On so many levels. They were suplexing each other like scary suplexes. Every single one scared the crap out of me at how they were going to land. Spears galore. They looked like they were about to repeat the day one spot where Lashley would have speared Lesnar through the barricade. Lesnar moved. Lashley apparently took himself out, but not quite, because he still put up in a fight with Lesnar. He refused the F5. He got the Hurt Lock on him for a bit, but Lesnar wasn't going to tap. We knew this. An F5 into the referee, though. And what happened after that? Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. I had a feeling we were going to get interference, but I didn't know if things were going to move along this far. Roman Reigns comes out, spears Lesnar. He then holds his arm out to Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman gives Roman Reigns the WWE Championship. Roman hits Brock. Just like Crown Jewel with the Universal title. He leaves with Paul Heyman. Another referee comes down. 1, 2, 3. The new two-time WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley. That's right. Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar. Decisively? Hell no. But for sake of story, I am so happy to see Bobby Lashley as champion again. And that Paul Heyman is already back with Roman Reigns. That didn't surprise me too much because I thought that might have been the end game. I thought maybe WrestleMania we would have Paul Heyman go back with Roman, but no, we did it much quicker than that. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I didn't think that Roman and Brock were going to lose their titles at this pay-per-view, but I was wrong. Brock Lesnar no longer the WWE champion. And then you realize how easy it is to predict the men's. Excuse me. So now we then move on to the mixed tag, and I really don't want to get through this too much. The match placement was terrible. We didn't need this to be it so long. Thankfully, Edge and Beth Phoenix did win. And I'm sorry to rag on it. It's just... It's the Royal Rumble. Feuds like this don't belong here. This could have been done on a Raw. And then Edge and Miz and Maurice and Beth, respectively, could have been in the Rumbles. But no, we had to do this here for some reason. It didn't do it for me, but at least the right people won and we can move on. Men's Rumble. Again, extremely underwhelming, but I still had fun with it. It's a Royal Rumble. That's the thing. And with the winner, I wouldn't say it's as bad as 2015 because people were more accepting and ready for it, and the end game's the same anyway. So, let's go. Starting the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, if you recall, my pick was AJ, so how do you think I felt when he came out as number 1? But a good showing did follow. Austin Theory at number 3. Robert Roode, ironically, who I had first eliminated in this match at number 4, and he was first eliminated. That's just a little fun fact to throw out. Ridge Holland at number 5. Montez Ford, number 6. Damian Priest, 7. Sami Zayn, 8. Like, you see what I mean? There's nothing too major in the first 8, so you knew things were either being saved all the way to the end, or we're just doing normal things enough. Number 9, though, out came Johnny Knoxville. He came out with the whole troop, and he took the beating. He took the beating. I am very pleased they went this way, including a Montez Ford frog splash, and Sami Zayn chucking him over the top rope out of my house. Angelo Dawkins, number 10. 11, Omos. Now, we had a good start with Omos. I think he got 3 eliminations right off the bat until, I believe, 12 and 13 were Ricochet and Gable. Gable tried to organize everyone to get him out. He sent Damian Priest. Priest got chucked, but then everybody from behind started grabbing Omos and trying to get him out. Obviously, he wasn't going. It's Omos. Then out comes Dominic Mysterio, and unlike the brains he should have when Omos is hanging off the top rope and he should grab him on the outside, he goes in the ring and tries to help push him. But then Styles bounces off the ropes, bumps into them all, and Omos is out. That was wrong. That was wrong. That completely ruins my perspective on how powerful Omos is. And now I firmly believe that Omos is not going to be going anywhere special. I think that's going to be it. They should have had Walter. I'm not calling him his other name. They should have had him come out to deal with him. And as annoying as it would have been if Great Khali came out to deal with him, at least it would have looked better than what we saw them do to Omos. He's just been one of the more recent Giants that I've enjoyed better. But no, it's over. What they're doing with him now, I do not see him making it on his own, and I think he's going to be released this year. I don't think they're going to be doing anything cool with Omos. So that did hurt. That did hurt in the long run for me. Back to the Rumble, though. Happy Corbin, number 15. Ziggler, 16. Sheamus, 17. Rick Boogs, 18. Madcap Moss, 19. Riddle, 20. And we'll get to something interesting with Riddle later. But then it's at this point you see that Boogs and Corbin, Madcap Moss and Corbin are going ape on everyone in there, including Moss just throwing AJ Styles out. Granted, he got caught in a chokeslam backbreaker by Corbin, but they gave that to Moss. That was a poor choice. Styles should not have been thrown out like that. Sasha got made look like a joke in hers too. I think Zelina eliminated her quite early. They really didn't want to do any of the Iron Man things here. I guess a nod to last year's though. The winners from last year were number 1 and 3. This year it was the late number, so sorry we can't have any of that, but Styles should have been treated better. It's just a fact is all. But then, one of the big surprises, and you son of a freaking troll, out came Drew McIntyre at 21. I could not believe it. I really thought that that was a surprise I didn't have to worry about. He's recovering from an injury. It was basically confirmed that he wasn't going to be around for a bit, and out he freaking came. That was a cool surprise. McIntyre immediately took care of the fools, Moss and Corbin, went to work, and made it even to the final, too. Again, we'll get there. Owens at 22, Rey Mysterio 23, Kofi at 24, and they should have learned. They should have learned. When Kofi Kingston did not have his spot at the 2020 Royal Rumble, I told myself, all right, this is it. We should not be doing the Kofi Kingston spots anymore. They have lived through their time. It's time to move on. I do not count last year because simply fact, he wasn't in there last year, so I don't have to worry about it. This year, well, he got thrown and tried to catch himself on the barricade, but then his feet touched, and then they even replayed it. So, out. That was a complete accident. Apparently, he had a couple of big spots left in the match to do, and not with the surviving, just with important people. So, boo WWE. Learn your lesson. The Kofi spots are no longer needed. That's how it goes. And then Otis at 25, Big E at 26. And then, no X-Pac, no Corey Graves, but we had Bad Bunny at 27, and nothing against Bad Bunny. If you've seen my thoughts on him, he puts in the work when he shows up for WWE. I like Bad Bunny as a wrestler. Singer? God, no. But that's because I'm not a fan of rap in general. But as a wrestler, he puts in the work and he goes to town. Destroyers all around and all around. I think I'm pretty sure he hit one destroyer. I think he hit it to Riddle. And he even chalked up a few eliminations. He got Sheamus out, Ziggler, and I think maybe an assist for Ray. And then 28 came Shane McMahon. That was freaking great. I love Shane McMahon getting under people's skin. And frankly, he's getting so much heat off of apparently booking himself in the Rumble. That's not my business. I enjoy Shane McMahon making people miserable. Again, I'm the fan that enjoys WWE nonsense more because I put so much of my stock as a wrestling fan in AEW. I have to repeat this every time for everyone watching my videos. It makes me feel better remembering that fact, and hopefully it makes you understand more where I'm coming from. So Shane McMahon came in and eliminated Kevin Owens. That was hysterical to me. 29 came Randy Orton, and of course got that St. Louis pop. Him and Riddle went to town. Any thoughts on Big E went to rest when he got chucked out. Otis got chucked out. RK Bro going to work on this town. And then number 30, you knew it was going to happen. Brock Lesnar cleaned house. Out goes Orton. Out goes Riddle. Out goes Bunny. Out goes Shane, who was, I think, in the final 3. And they had a little nod to the 2020 Rumble with McIntyre and Lesnar. McIntyre almost got the Claymore in, but Lesnar F5'd him out of the ring, and boom, number 30, your 2-time winner of the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and it figures both Royal Rumbles that lead to Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar miff the fans. 2015 and 2022. I find that amusing, but I did have a good time. Again, I did expect this is where we were going to be going after the WWE Championship shenanigans from earlier with Lashley. This could have been avoided, though. I do think we might have just been able to have the champions retain here and leave things alone in the Rumble. It apparently was rough from what I heard. The match changed around 20 times. And the interesting thing is, apparently one of the original winners for this was Riddle. If Riddle had won this, I would have lost my freaking mind. That does make me excited to think what the plans are going to be for the WWE Championship, though. From what I've heard, Lashley's defending it inside the Elimination Chamber. Yes, please. I am interested. And hopefully we get more than one chamber match at that event, too. We'll see. This show could have been fixed more if the match card was a different order. That's another thing. I do believe the women's should have been last. I think Lesnar and Lashley might have been better off being first. And then the men's rumble before Roman and Seth. So when Roman and Seth are fighting, Brock has no beef to go after them, to ruin it, because he has his rumble shot at that time, and he would have let things play out. It would have still worked. They did it with Becky Lynch in 2019. She did not main event winning, coming out for a second time. The women's rumble was in the middle of the card. So it could have worked. It could have worked, and they would have saved Ronda for last, and that would have got a more satisfying pop to end the night. But that's it. Long video, huh? But that's the Royal Rumble for you, and I enjoy talking about it. You guys have a lovely day. I will see you down the line for the Elimination Chamber predictions. At least it's not called WrestleMania Chamber. There were some very funny thoughts on what was going to happen. I think that's all we have to go through right now. Thanks, everybody. Patience appreciated. Keep it real.